Hey, hello all. This is Lokayata, and I welcome you all in today's live stream. And I will be doing this part two session on Anand Ranganathan. You guessed it right. Uh, Part one, I actually discussed about what he tries to pretend and what he actually does. We discussed a little bit about his own hypocrisy and the absurd statements he gives. Here I'll be looking at him more closely in a more personal manner. Uh, no insult. Okay, he is a scientist, by the way. I'm not joking here. His parents were scientists. So I would have thought that, hey, uh, it would have made sense for him to be like a Neil deGrasse Tyson of India, basically. But we have completely something opposite here. I do think he has all that potential to be like the good science communicator. But no, he seems to be in that political background and stick with his political narrative. And that narrative is nothing but spewing venom. That's what he's doing, basically. The things that he cites, basically, most of them, uh, it's a very classical right wing narrative parroting. That's it. I'm not sure whether he really has studied the work of Ambedkar, while Ambedkar does acknowledge the fact that yes, the Brotherhood of Muslim is only for the Muslim community and it's not for other. He also ends up mentioning other things about Hindu community, that there cannot be a good Hindu, that there cannot be, a Hindu without casteist mindset. He ends up mentioning these things, but he never bothers to bring up these references. He, cla- he I mean, uh, he actually, if you look at him on the podium, he sits with Jesai Deepak, he sits with other people, and more often than not, what I have seen is Jesai Deepak openly endorses many, pseudo-scientific claims about Indian history, Indian technology. Most of them pseudo-scientific or something which is unverified. Anand Ranganathan, being a scientist, I would have assumed he would have questioned at least on that respect, but no. He just sits there and he just remains silent. So all this tells me that he, though being a scientist himself, he quietly and silently endorses the pseudo-scientific, thinking of the far right Hindutva group, believing in some sort of, we had everything, everybody copied our technology, basically, that sort of narrative. That's really what he's doing. He will probably never acknowledge that, but if you see him, you see him, the kind of people he sits with, the kind of debates he comes into, it always makes sure to understand that he doesn't really promote science. Sorry to say that. I wish, I really wish, being a scientist himself and his father being a head of the department in IIT Kanpur chemistry, who was basically, his mother was an organic chemistry PhD. I would have thought he would be somebody encouraging people to come and study in the field of science. No, you come study field of science. I'm going to give scholarship. I'm going to fund your education. I would have loved to see that from him, but no. That's completely opposite. He is talking like, hey, Muslims means they are like this, and because their religions is, it is like that. But he never bothers to cite the Pew Research paper which says 6% of the Muslims who were talked or interviewed said they don't fucking believe in God. They don't believe in any superpowers, basically. That actually nullifies the prophethood of Muhammad. That actually nullifies the entire Islam, basically, completely. You can virtually say that 6% of the Indian Muslim population who were interviewed in the Pew Research basically were atheists. 2% of them said They're very less certain about the God and its existence. We are not sure. That makes it 8%, folks. That's not a joke. Let's be very honest. That's not a joke. Given the kind of conservative society we live in, you look at other group which had significant number of atheist population in the same Pew Research. Okay, six 6% of the six who were interviewed in the Pew Research and surveyed said, "We don't believe in God. We no longer have this belief that God exists." 6% of the six, mind you. 33% of the Buddhists, I mean, I assume most of them are the Navian or the Neo Buddhist set, most of them, they said they don't believe in a creator God. 33%. So, why not cite these statistics when he's talking about it? He never bothers to because he wants to paint the entire Hindu community, sorry, entire Muslim community is terrorist. So you need to be careful. I presume that uh, he talks about issues like eighth class citizen in India when he forgets in India people literally pray on the railway stations. Just like Muslim, there are plenty of Hindus who do bhajan kirtan in train. Nobody stops them. As though he pretends as though it is, but they're doing happily. There are temples which earn more than the GDP of India, or even close to the GDP of India. Close to that. Literally. Earning goes good. And of course, significant money does go to government, but even then, they are richest. Tirupati temple is the richest. Shirdi Sai Baba is the richest temple. Anand Padmanabha temple in south is the richest. He never bother to tell you these things. He just says, मैं ये नहीं बताऊंगा क्योंकि मेरा नैरेटिव जो है वो खराब हो सकता है. And while he points out the hypocrisy of Congress, the left, the liberal, while he himself being a neoliberal and supporting the neoliberal economic policy of Modi, uh, he forgets, you know what, you are just licking the boots of the authority. He fails to realize this. I mean, I would say the same thing that कि आप जब कांग्रेस के टाइम पे थे 2014, before 2014 when Congress was there, you were licking the boot of the Congress and the UPA too. Now you're licking the boot of Modi and the BJP, NDA 2, NDA 3. That's what you are doing. So the question is, you're more bothered about the opposition rather than questioning the authority. His entire debate is based on this premise that the opposition is at fault. I would have to ask this question if he comes in front of me. Did you really think BJP was at fault before 2014? Just like how you think Congress is at fault now. I mean, that's the same question that should be fired at him. He always seemed to take the side of the authority, the person who runs the government, runs the system and pro. So what you call as pro status quo. That's what he is basically taking. At the same time, pretending he is some kind of intellectual, rational, blah 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 blah, etc. Okay. So Siddharasika asks question: why are you obsessed with him now? Okay, for the same reason that there are plenty of YouTube channel who are obsessed with many individual who individually critique, who individually mock, who individually make live stream and satire videos on the other YouTubers or other individual people for the same reason. That's it. Okay, Messi says hello. I hope you are doing good. Hello, Messi. भाई इनको इतना क्यों चिढ़ मची है रंगनाथन से? मुझे रंगनाथन से चिढ़ नहीं बचा है. द ओनली थिंग इज he seems to bring his own reputation down. I'm more bothered about his reputation now. That's the only thing. I'm not joking here. I'm really worried about him because he risked so much uh, thing to do in TV shows that he got an heart attack. I really wish that should never have happened to him at the first place. Really wish. I'm bothered genuinely. That is why I'm saying. मुझे चिढ़ नहीं बचा. I'm genuinely bothered कि कहीं उनको दूसरा heart attack ना आ जाए, and that should never happen. That's the reason I'm saying. चिढ़ क्यों मच रही है? 5% मुस्लिम भी टेररिस्ट भी बहुत है क्योंकि बैक पाना लेवल रोने धोने के लिए ही है. 5% Muslim terrorist. Hmm. Yeah, but you would rather question the kind of fucked up education system we have, really. हमारे fucked up education system इसका बहुत बड़ा reason है that you have people like Sadhvi Pragya, you have people like Sakshi Maharaj, you have people like Ajay Bisht in UP, and you also have people like Anand Ranganathan, and then you have people like Asaduddin Owaisi. So you would really bother to question the fucked up education system that we have in India, basically. COP24 में government, I don't know what he's going to do. He classical chameleon. This guy. I mean, what do I have to ask him the question? Hey, if your stance was really consistent throughout about opposition, about Congress, and about supposed left in the opposition, what were you doing at the news laundry until 2017? What were your articles about? Shall I read out your own articles? I would rather ask that question to him. Criticism तो करे. मैं criticism ही कर रहा हूँ. I'm doing it in a very funny way, basically. Not even funny way. I'm just trying to poke around, basically. कि कहीं अगर वो सुनता है तो वो थोड़ा आ जाए यहाँ पे. आपको सुनाई नहीं देता तो एंटी डॉक्टर के पास जा सकते हैं. इंडिया का पहला टेररिस्ट सो कॉल्ड प्राचीन धर्म के थे. फेस या दैट्स ट्रू. The Hindutva extremist is not going to kill the Islamic terrorist or Islamic extremist. The Hindutva extremists are going to kill people like Narendra Dhabolkar, Gauri Lankesh, Govind Pansare, and Kalburgi and Gandhi. Despite Gandhi supporting the system of caste, despite Gandhi supporting system of varnashram, despite Gandhi supporting Gita, despite Gandhi supporting Ramayana, despite Gandhi talking about Ram Rajya, etc., etc., इतना सबके बाद भी he probably wasn't Hindu enough for Nathuram Godse, who shot him. And Nathuram Godse, even if he probably tried assassinating Jinnah, गांधी के assassination is like a cover up. Basically उनको शर्म थी कि यार मैंने जिन्ना को नहीं उड़ा पाया, चलो मैं गांधी को ही उड़ा देता हूँ. Basically that's what it is. Okay. So one could ask this question that, hey, your parents were scientists, you are blessed with scientific genius, you are working on malaria. What are your research on malaria? One media should be asking this question. Him being a scientist, you would actually talk about science first and then you talk about religion, Islam, blah blah blah, whatever politics. No, आप उसको इंटरव्यू में बिठाओगे, डिबेट में बिठाओगे, and I would rather blame this on the anchor who goes to him first, takes his opinion. He basically rants that the left, the Congress is a hypocrite, shouting against Modi. They jailed, you know, the journalist while shouting that NewsClick is being interrogated. When in fact, NewsClick was called a Chinese agent and a terrorist. Nobody called those journalists in the opposition ruled state as terrorist or even Chinese agent. They were arrested, and of course, it is a breach of freedom of expression. Yes, definitely condemnable, definitely worth questioning and holding them accountable, no doubt. But How is that gives a clean sheet for the BJP to conduct ED raids on the pretext that they're a Chinese agent, and on what evidence? I mean, really, on what evidence? Okay, that would be my first question. And on what grounds? Okay, and let's say China, let's say even if you accept that uh, NewsClick is a Chinese agent, assuming that is proven in the court, okay, then it's a big slap on the intelligence agency. What were the intelligence agency doing all these years? Why couldn't they track them before 2019 election? Why only now? Those will be the questions asked, basically. So, it requires a little bit of common sense, and people tend to get carried away with the way he speaks. I mean, I'm no offense, he can speak however he wants, but people get carried away with the emotion. And by the way, as I said, वो जिस तरह से बात करते हैं, अगर आप भी सुनोगे, इवन वन आई यूज्ड टू बी वंस ए फैन ऑफ हिम. बेसिकली मैं ये छिड़ा हुआ नहीं हूँ, लेकिन हाँ, मैं जेन्युइनली कंसर्न भी इसलिए क्योंकि मैं भी उनका एक टाइम बहुत बड़ा फैन हुआ करता था. आई यूज्ड टू फॉलो हिम ऑन ट्विटर. आई यूज्ड टू लिसन टू हिज डिबेट बैक व्हेन आई वाज अ राइट विंग गाय, एंड आई फेल्ट कि हाँ, ये बड़ा बंदा अच्छा बात कर रहा है. ओके, it took me some time to go through his previous background, and also go through his hypocrisy in between to really understand, hey, hang on, I'm just getting carried away by 99% of the people whom I see on the social media. Rather, let me be critical. Started being critical, and in the last 2 years, I guess I have understood that he represents the very hardcore communal faction of a group called Hindutva. That's it. Very simple. So that's the reason I am doing a live on him, because I used to follow him once on Twitter, and I used to like his tweets long back. आपको ज्यादा सुनाई देता हो तो भी इनकी डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए. This fellow Ranganathan promotes Savarkar as a social justice warrior. He has his agenda set, but on ground, Savarkar has no place among masses. Yeah, Savarkar was somebody of status quo. I mean, you look at Bhagat Singh, M.N. Roy, Savarkar. Okay. Question mark. Did Savarkar really challenge the status quo of capitalism? Okay. I mean, free market capitalism. Did he even bother to question ki bhai, how the businessmen worldwide, including in India, are exploiting the masses in a very different way, and their goal is making profit? Did he ever question the status quo? Or did he even question the status quo of Brahminical dominance? Okay, let's say he even did while fighting against castes. Then the real question is, why did he even endorse Varnashram system? The first thing you would rather question the status quo within India historically is you would disband the Varna system psychologically. यू वुड रादर टेल कि आप अपने आप को वर्ण से आइडेंटिफाई करना बंद करो, अपनी जाति को वर्ण से आइडेंटिफाई करना बंद करो. स्टॉप आइडेंटिफाइंग योर कास्ट, योर फैमिली एंड वॉट एवर विथ either a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra or a Dalit. Stop identifying. That would be the way to start some sort of social justice. Periyar did self-respect movement. He said, hey, why you have to become a Kshatriya, Vaishya or a Brahmana to get a respect in society? Why can't you get respect as it is? For just being, yes, my ancestors were Dalit, my ancestors were bonded laborers to the Vaishyas and Shudras. Yes, with that pride in itself, yes, give me the same respect as Brahmins and Kshatriyas. Same respect. Why not that sort of self-respect if he is a social justice warrior? So you would rather look at him, and you would rather prefer Bhagat Singh any day. I would rather say Bhagat Singh is a social justice warrior in many ways. He questioned the status quo of his time. Eman Roy was, to an extent, biggest of all was Ambedkar and Periyar, who questioned the status quo. So you would rather look at them who actually challenged status quo socially, religiously, and economically, basically. That's what you would look at. कौन था पहला terrorist? Okay, I think Kamal Hassan has tweeted that it was Nathuram Godse. So yeah, I mean, in a sense, one could say he was a terrorist, but I would rather call him as a criminal assassin. Okay. If you ask me who was the real terrorist, I would rather call the RSS Golwalkar was the real terrorist. He was somebody who promoted bomb blasts, asking the Hindu community to put bombs and do bomb blasts across United Province, across central provinces of those times, British India. So yeah, Golwalkar was the first one, I would rather say, because he fought. Because of, yeah, that's true. It's because of number. He saw Dalit convert to Islam, it would be an end game for Brahmanical. Yeah, that's definitely true. And by the way, Ambedkar, while he did criticize Islam, okay, he never really bothered to, tell the converted Dalits to give up Islam. He never bothered to even say that. You read his book, Pakistan or Partition of India, nowhere has he told the Dalits and the tribal who actually converted to Islam, okay, should, leave that and come to Buddhism like that. No, he never endorses that. He never even did endorse that even in Buddha and his Dhamma. He didn't. Okay. So while he did criticize Islam and he did call out the hypocrisy and the issues within the community, he did acknowledge one more fact, that the casteism in the Islamic community is, especially in India, is optional. It's not something sanctified by the Quranic verses or the religion. So it is something that they can leave it. Okay. He did acknowledge that at the same time. But Ranga never bothers to even quote these things. He would never. Okay. Who has he terrorized? Okay, yeah, he terrorized the Dalits, the Muslims, the OBCs, many ways. Okay. And you come to know about this when you read the letter by him to Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel wrote a letter to Golwalkar basically on his activities. You realize that Kamal Hassan is a South Indian actor. Basically, I was referring to him. Okay. So who else was there? Ambedkar views on Buddhism are not absurd. He made a new Buddhism out of it. It's a neo Buddhism, Navayan, whatever you call it. Okay, that's what he made out of Buddhism existing. He did recognize some basic tenets of rationalism in it. At the same time, he ensured all those pessimistic doctrines within Buddhism should be discarded. That's what he did, basically. Had Godse not been punished, he would have probably killed Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. He would have killed, who knows, Siraj Gopalchari. He would have killed Sardar Patel. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just curious. So then definitely a terrorism. Because if you look at his paper, Agrani, he actually portrays Netaji and, Sardar Patel and Lal Bahadur Shastri and many other Congress leader with Gandhi as a 10-headed Ravana, with Savarkar and, you know, Shama Mukherjee taking a shot. There is a very famous photo of it. Go check it out. And that is published by Agrani, a paper which he used to run, Godse, basically. So had Godse lived, he would have probably not only killed Nehru, he would have probably killed Sardar Patel, he would have probably killed, Who knows? Because Sardar Patel, Lal Bahadur Shastri, C. Rajgopalchari were Gandhian conservative, very conservative but very much Gandhian. Okay, that's what they were. So it's not far fetched being a very radical far right for him to do that. For JSI Deepak, I might bring, but it's a very future question, not in the immediate. Okay, right now I would rather stick to him. I mean, I don't see any big difference between JSI Deepak for that matter. I mean, you can take criticism of Anand Ranganathan as criticism in a way of JSI Deepak in a different way. Um, yeah, बुद्धा तो अवतार थे, उनसे क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है टनाटनी को, उनको सबसे प्रॉब्लम होगा. I bet if I say all the Muslims and all the Christians in India, they leave their Bible and they give up their Quran and they become, say, Buddhist, Jain, Hindu, whatever, even Sikh, I'm dead sure riots will still break out, but this time the labels will be changed. Labels will be changed. It's a very Indian mindset to get emotional and start ranting and provoking. And by the way, Anand Ranganathan's recent Twitter account, he has put the photo of Israel. Well, I'm not sure whether he is even aware that there are Jewish settlements in West Bank. West Bank is a territory of Palestine, and there are Israeli Jewish settlements in West Bank. And with that in mind, if he is putting the photo, Anand Ranganathan is, in fact, in my opinion, strategically justifying the occupation of China and Pakistan in India. He is justifying the occupied territories of India by China and Pakistan, basically, strategically. So either he is become so much emotional that he forgot geopolitics, or he's like he's saying कि भाई geopolitics को लात मारो, I'm okay to support and strategically allow Chinese and Pakistanis to say that you have plenty of Indians who support Israeli occupation of West Bank settlement. What is wrong with us occupying Kashmir and Ladakh? Basically, that's what he's literally saying. अब वो इमोशन में कर रहा है और उसने अपने जियोपॉलिटिकल थिंकिंग को लात मार दिया, तो ये उसका प्रॉब्लम है. दैट्स नॉट माय प्रॉब्लम बेसिकली. Who knows, he would have converted. Yeah, he would have converted and probably that would have taken many years कि वो बुढ़ा हो जाता गांधी जितना पहले. Yeah, who knows. Instead of asking upper caste people to mend their ways and allow Dalits enter into temples, yeah, definitely. The real question is, Ambedkar said Dalits should go and study. आप पढ़ाई लिखाई पे ध्यान दो. Ambedkar was insisting till his last breath that you take the fucking book, go read, get yourself educated, get a degree, get into universities, get into job. He was insisting from the day one. But what does Savarkar, the Hindu Mahasabha, and even many leaders of Congress do is they say, hey, Dalits, we believe in equality, come to temple. There should no untouchability in temple. Come, enter the temple. उनके हाथ में तुम कमंडल दे रहे हो, उनके हाथ में फूल दे रहे हो, उनके हाथ में तुम गीता दे रहे हो. When they should have been having on their hands Constitution of India, science, education, modern day education, I mean, okay, philosophies of Marx, Hegel, that's what they should have been having. Works of Ambedkar, they should have been having that in their hands. बट नो, हमने उनके हाथ में गीता, भागवत पुराण, धर्म ग्रंथ थमा दिया, ये बोल के कि भाई मंदिर में इक्वालिटी है, तुम मंदिर में आ सकते हो. Isn't this an Indian channel? And isn't the Indianness evident? Indianness is enough. You call yourself an Indian, that is enough. इंडियन जो एक वर्ड है नेशनैलिटी, उसके अंदर आता है आपका हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख, ईसाई, दैट्स इट, बात खत्म. Any tag, whether caste, whether language, whether ethnicity, all the tags, the day in, day out you want to do politics on, comes under the tag Indian. End of the story. बात खत्म वहीं पे. I don't see why the far right needs to go to the extent that you need to remove the Indian word and substitute it for something else. I don't see any necessity. हिंदू मुस्लिम खत्म हो गया तो नॉर्थ साउथ करना है, नेक्स्ट टारगेट द्रविडियन मॉडल. या दैट्स ट्रू. I think that some action decision of Gandhi was controversial. Gandhi was not a perfect man and I do not call him as. मैं तो भाई आत्मा के कॉन्सेप्ट पे बिलीव ही नहीं करता. Since I don't believe in this concept of eternal soul or atma, I don't care to call anybody as Mahatma or anything. So for me that doesn't apply as well. Okay, that is itself the sufficient reason for me. Okay, now having said that, you are talking about Gandhi. Gandhi was a human being like any other human being. He too, he was a politician. Let's keep in mind a politician who talked about Hindu mythology and Hinduism, and even promoted little bit of brotherhood between Hindus and the Muslims. That's what he was. Basically, a soft Hindutva. Okay, a soft Hindutva. Basically, Gandhi. However, keep in mind that where he was absolutely right was on the issue of violence. On one point he was actually right that आप वायलेंस को वायलेंस से खत्म नहीं कर सकता, आप हेट को हेट से खत्म नहीं कर सकते. He was right in that sense, at least in that philosophy. It's of course totally different that he himself did not practice that perfectly or he never bothered to care about it. Okay, that's a totally different issue because he was doing politics, he was a politician. He was not much different from the contemporary politicians of his time. Not much different. Yes, his views were different, his ways and methodology were very different, but he too was a politician. You obviously look for opportunities, basically. State Maharashtra, Savarkar has no place among masses. BJP tries to keep him alive but fails. In the state of Maharashtra, they don't have because majority are Maratha ethnicity, and Maratha ethnicity highly revere the figure of Shivaji, basically, who also comes from that community. Okay, and Shivaji was somebody who was heavily critiqued by Savarkar. And in Maharashtra, they view Savarkar, the Chitpavan Brahman, etc., as Brahmanical supremacy. So they prefer to view themselves and identify with Marathas, with Maratha supremacy, which is an OBC caste in Maharashtra. That's what they view here. You need to keep that in mind. Who knows, he would have become the first elected PM of India instead of Nehru. I don't think he would have been elected. By the way, first elections in India happened after the death of Sardar Patel in 1951-52. So yeah, I mean you can go to that extent, but keep in mind Lal Bahadur Shastri was more popular at that time. So best bet Lal Bahadur Shastri. Changing the India word, yeah. Personally, I have no sympathy for news click. Okay, your views. Mahatma was a cunning man. Yeah, yeah. I would rather, मैं तो I was thinking I should do a live on Anna Hazare. I will definitely do. I mean, उसके लिए तो भाई एक मूवी बन सकता है. There should have be a movie called अन्ना ने देश के साथ किया गद्दारी. Basically, there should be a literally titled movie on him. He betrayed Indians basically in the name of fighting corruption in the name of saying India against corruption. He betrayed India. He betrayed the thousands of people who lost their economic status during demonetization by bringing a man to power who has least bothered about the economic autonomy of the workers, the farmers, and the laborers, basically. Yeah, इनके ऊपर मूवी बनना चाहिए, देश का गद्दार अन्ना. ऐसे सारे फिलोसोफर को बॉर्डर पे और पैलेस्टीन वॉर में भेज देना चाहिए, हेट को लव से खत्म करने के लिए. हाँ, भेज दो. Basically, he himself did not practice that as well. As I said, though his thought was great, idea sounds great, but he himself, never bothered to give introspection to it. Gandhi was racist, yeah, but the real question mark is, uh, did Anand Ranganathan tweet? Today he puts the photo of Israel in his Twitter DP. Okay. But did the same Anand Ranganathan bother to put the photo of Israel DP when the Israeli tourists were harassed in Haridwar? Recent news is there. Israeli tourists in Haridwar were harassed. So did he bother to put the DP at the time? Israel's star of David DP. Did he bother to put? No, he didn't. So the very thing that he criticizes is himself the very thing that he is practicing. वो बोलता है भाई मैं लिबरल नहीं हूं, तो आप न्यू लिबरल इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी को क्यों प्रमोट कर रहे हो मोदी का? वो बोलता है कि आई एम एक्सपोजिंग द हिपोक्रेसी ऑफ द लेफ्ट, देन व्हाई आर यू डूइंग द हिपोक्रेसी ऑफ द फार राइट? व्हाई आर यू बीइंग हिपोक्रिटिकल? वो बोलता है कि भाई मैं न्यूट्रल हूं, आई एम एन एथिस्ट. देन द रियल क्वेश्चन मार्क इज, why are you promoting the worship of the Hindu deities and the gods, okay, and call that as a culture, when somebody could say the same thing that it is Arab culture to worship Allah or worship Jehovah? Simple as that. Hypocrisy. Okay. He says ki bhai, I am in solidarity with Israel. Israel is the victim. And by the way, Hamas terror attack, I do condemn it. Whatever wrong Hamas did was unforgivable, and uh, it's good that Hamas Hezbollah is disbanded. I support that. However, what I don't support is the Israeli occupation in the West Bank. That is imperialism, and that is wrong. Okay, and when you put the DP and knowing that it is a settlement there in that region of those people, you are endorsing the imperialism, you are endorsing the occupation, you are indirectly endorsing that, yeah, British were there in England, but British also settled down in India, just like Israelis are there in their own territory, but they have settled down in the West Bank as well. It's like that. So you're actually justifying the 200 years of colonialism done by British, basically. So that's why I said, आपने इमोशन में जियोपॉलिटिक्स को लात मार के, यू हैव गिवन अ वेरी गुड justification for China. China can say that, hey, there is an Indian called as Anand Ranganathan, and he put Israel's DP and photo and endorsed it because uh, uh, Israel has a Jewish settlements in West Bank. If he can support Israel, why can't he support China and Pakistan? We too can have Chinese settlements within the Indian territory, Pakistani settlements within the Indian territory at the Himalayan border. What is wrong in it? He's literally giving that moral justification to them. That's why I said, geopolitics को अगर आप emotion से खेलोगे तो you will be screwing up your own country in no time. That's what he is doing. To for him to get elected, it would have mean he would have to commit a genocide. He would have been a genocidal maniac. So he is not a different from terrorist. Yeah. चड्डी गैंग जा रहा है इजराइल तो फुल सपोर्ट. By the way, uh, he is the same guy, Anand Ranganathan, who says Abrahamic religions are like this, Islam is like this, Islam is like that, Islam is this, Islam is that. What he fails to forget is 95% of Islam comes from Judaism. Anand Ranganathan, the same religion, the day in, day out, he criticizes, he rants about in the news media. 95% of it comes from Judaism. He fails to realize that. He says circumcision, he believes circumcision practice is nonsense, it is superstition. But I am okay, circumcision of Jewish Israelis is good, that is very scientific. Muslims wearing skull cap, he may not like it. But I don't have problem Jews wearing their black kippa, the cap, black cap which the Jews wear on the Sabbath. I'm absolutely okay with that. Halal meat, when debate was happening, he was stating against halal meat and calling that it is a discrimination against Hindu, but somehow he is okay to support state of Israel where kosher meat is allowed to discriminate against the non-Jews. He is not okay with the word kafir, but he is okay with the word goyim, Gentiles, in the Jewish scripture. Goyims are the lowest of the creatures. Gentiles are not same as the Jews. Deuteronomy, Exodus, Talmud, he's okay with that. But he's not okay with the kafir in that scripture. I mean, that you really need to ask the question: what are you endorsing? What are you promoting? Huh? What are you doing? You would rather ask him that question: क्या promote क्या कर रहे हो? You are promoting Islam indirectly by quote unquote putting the Star of David literally on your profile picture. Imagine if somebody had put the flag of Arab League or Palestine, saying कि I will stand with Palestine. How would the same crowd reacted it? But they're okay with kosher meat because kosher meat is what says cut the animal slowly and you remove all the blood from the animal's body and then eat it. Same thing, which is what halal meat is. He's not okay with halal meat, but he's okay with kosher meat, which he never bothers to talk about. He's okay with Judaism, but not with Islam. He says he says I'm against Abrahamic religion, but you put the one of the oldest symbols of Abrahamic religion on your profile picture. Star of David is the oldest picture of an Abrahamic religion called Judaism. He's okay to put that in his profile. Wow. I mean, I have to really salute him basically. And people who follow him blindly, I should salute them as well. Really. Never even bother to read what the Talmud says, what the Torah says, what the Deuteronomy, what the Exodus, and what the, uh, uh, I forgot the name, uh, Genesis, book of Genesis says. Never bothered. Judaism promoted slavery. Judaism promoted, the thing with father and daughter, but he doesn't seem to open his eyes to that. How is he different from the so-called the communist, the far left in India? How is he really different? I mean, let's say far left in India promotes Islam, a monotheistic faith. He is promoting Judaism, which is another monotheistic faith and the oldest monotheistic faith. That's what he is doing basically. How is it different? That's what I'm talking about. You're okay with uh, uh, Jews with their Torah in their hand kissing the Wailing Wall in the Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, there is something called as a Wailing Wall, something as a remnant of the Temple of Solomon. Jews literally kiss that. They lean on it. In front of it, they read the Torah. He's okay with that, but I'm not okay with Muslims kissing the black stone in Kaaba and doing circumambulation of the Kaaba. I'm not okay with that. Wow. Wow. I mean, really, somebody has to be like a far left uh, insan to support this monotheistic cult. He's probably a hidden far left. Yeah, crypto far left. Shall I call him a crypto far left? Yeah, maybe that would make sense. You see the recent video on Anna Hazare, there is a 1 hour interview of somebody who actually worked with Anna Hazare. The entire thing was a staged plan, right from supporting the RSS and their involvement till the end of the campaigning. You go and check it out. OBC committed a genocide. Yeah, that's what I say, right? Ban AIMIM. I hope I want to. If I was the PM, I would have probably banned it. I would rather ban RSS, Bajrang Dal, AIMIM, Tablighi Jamaat. India will be more peaceful that way. 56 इंच का शिखा है, हाँ. वो 56 का इंच का शिखा ही तो आज 56 इंच का वो सीना बन चुका है. Yeah, definitely. But I guess he will divert. ये डाइवर्ट कर देंगे वहां पे. Yeah, that's true. But he forgets that Israelis consume kosher beef, where they cut open the cow slowly, saying that is what is written in their Torah and Talmud, and they remove all the blood from the cow and then they eat the meat of the cow. Apparently, they're okay with that. He he says Muslims have very high fertility rate in India. Yeah, they have very high fertility rate. How about the Jews? The fertility rate of Jews worldwide, go check it out. Yeah. Shall I share the fertility rate of the Jews in Israel? You would be surprised here. Yeah, go check it out. In Israel, birth rates are converging between Jews and Muslims. Yeah, go check it out. फालतू बकवास करो. मैं फालतू बकवास नहीं कर रहा हूं. मैं लॉजिकली थोड़ा रोस्ट कर रहा हूं. इफ यू कॉल इट लाइक दैट, रोस्टिंग द रोस्ट. और आप सुन रहे हो, आपके ऊपर जादू टोना तो नहीं किया किसी ने. You do. How about what about how about is just a question mark on their own stance. I don't make any statement. Whatever they claim is just a question mark, basically. Yeah, Hindu atheist basically. मैं राम को मानूंगा, कृष्ण को मानूंगा, इट्स ओके. मैं वो जो हिंदुइज्म इज ए थियस्टिक रिलीजन because it has concepts of supernatural things. Any religion that involves supernatural beings, ideas of supernatural things, or something called a super consciousness, etc., etc., are theistic religion and they should be called out so. One can give it a shape and color of a spirituality, way of life, culture, whatever you call it, it is a theistic religion or a theistic cult. That's what it is, basically. So it's an oxymoron to call somebody atheist when you consider the supreme spirit of the Hindu gods, goddesses, worship, and doing the totem thing, worship. All that is like okay, yeah. That is called hypocrisy. By the way, I say that Anand Ranganathan is a neoliberal and a crypto leftist. Yeah, I would rather call him that. Yeah, because he keeps a very high standard about left, right? That this is what left means, and I am different from it. I'm critique of left. I hate left. Yeah, yeah. He is behaving like a typical left, a left which promotes a monotheistic religion called Judaism. Yeah, that's what he's doing. साउथ दिल्ली का वो एमपी नेतन्याहू को देख के कटवा बोलेगा तो मजा आएगा. And by the way, the circumcision ritual of Jewish community versus circumcision ritual of the Muslim community, do a comparison. It's more rigid, it's more strict in Jewish community, and I'm not joking here. The rabbi, the priest of the religion, they cut open the foreskin of the babies, literally month old babies. Baby will be crying, and they drink the blood which oozes from the foreskin. They drink it and they say prayers. Rabbis do that. Ritual happens literally. Just go check it out on YouTube videos. If you don't, if you say इस्लाम इतना अनसाइंटिफिक है, बकवास है, but Yahudi Hindu bhai bhai, I support Israel. Hang on, you're supporting and indirectly endorsing the the religious shibboleths of these things. You need to be critical and rational, or at least be a skeptic. So that's why I never take a pro-Palestine or a pro-Israel stance in this conflict, because it's manufactured by the industrial complex military. मैं इस्लाम को नहीं मानता इसलिए मैं एथीस्ट हूँ, लेकिन अपना कल्चर को फॉलो करता हूँ. एवरेज हिंदू एथीस्ट, या. And I would rather call him not at all atheist. Now that he even puts and endorses Star of David with Israel, he is not an atheist. He believes in Jehovah. He believes in Jacob. He believes in Abraham now. Yeah. He is not an atheist. He is not even a Hindu atheist now. Hindu atheist is somebody who says मैं अब्राहमिक को नहीं मानता लेकिन मैं पॉलीथिस्टिक जितने भी कल्ट आए इंडिया में मैं उसको मानूंगा. बेसिकली an average Hindu atheist is like that. But he probably has become leftist, endorsing the monotheistic cult of Judaism. So yeah, he's not an atheist. He's a theist now. He endorses Jehovah with Star of David. You know, the covenant between the Jews and the Jehovah. Yeah, he probably endorses that. Go read Genesis, go read Exodus. You'll get your answers there. Ah, so many people are there. I want you to join my live. Anybody wants to come and talk in the live, please come join me, talk with me, enjoy the session. I want to make this live a little bit longer and want to extend it. I don't want to make the live boring and monotonous. हम हिंदी में भी बात कर सकते हैं. हिंदी में अगर आके बात करना है तो आए. आनंद रंगनाथन क्योंकि इंग्लिश में बात करते तो मैं उसके ऊपर रैंट वीडियो भी इंग्लिश में ही बनाया. लेकिन अगर आपको यहाँ आके बात करना है आनंद रंगनाथन के ऊपर हिंदी में तो आप वेरी मच वेलकम हो हिंदी में आकर यहाँ बात करने के लिए. सो नो लैंग्वेज बैरियर्स हियर बेसिकली. या Okay, so let me see if nobody is coming. I would end the live. Uh, yeah, मैं तो इस्लाम को नहीं मानता. Yeah, this is very funny, but nobody else wants to talk here and share their views. I'm kind of sick. Seriously, yeah. Come on, folks. Like, share this live, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon for this channel. Let's get to 1K subscriber, and let's show them that 1K is big enough to take down YouTube channels having millions of subscriber logically, rationally, common sense wise. Yeah. So let's prove that point. Here is a StreamYard link. I hope anybody wants to come join, debate with me, talk with me, etc. Yeah, definitely go ahead. We can talk about it. Else, I would be ending the live stream here. I won't take much long time. We have a live stream on the witch hunting on Sunday. Uh, Plenty of live streams are scheduled going ahead on Fridays and the Sundays, 8 p.m. So we'll be joining at this time, which will be more or less convenient, and I hope people do enjoy it. Yeah. So with this, I end my live. Thanks for joining. Good night. Bye. So I'm ending my live here. If anybody wants to come and say anything, talk with me, share some views, do want to do comedy as well, and want to debate with me on religion, they are very much free. I will be also doing a live stream on Judaism. Who say full support to Israel, sir. Sir, we love Israel, sir. We support, sir. Full support, sir. Who say जरा हम उनको भी बुला के हम बात करते हैं भाई. Why are you behaving like a leftist supporting a monotheistic religion? I would ask that question first. Okay, with this I end the live stream. Okay, bye.